The Auction, a story by Dalrymple. Oh, just come. I need you there. It's going to be dry. I can't face it alone, Carly begged. Oh, please, pretty please. I'll be your favourite cousin if you do. Mena gave a chuckle. You already are, you nutcase. Why the begging? It's just a thing at church. Ah, see, no, not just a thing at church. Yet another thing at church. A thing my daddy's making me go to. Church is raising money for the youth club building, and one of its many groups, the art club your uncle helped to start, is insisting I'm there for. And insisting I'm there for everything they do. And you know Stush Sister Jeffries will be there bragging on her daughters who smoke everything, drink more, sleep with what ain't dead, and still has the audacity to criticize my every move and outfit. She drew breath enough to make her strongest argument. Plus, Dean will be there, and whenever he and I are within yards of each other, he sees it as a play for me to get back with him. Mena laughed at her younger cousin's plight. They were 2 years apart in age, but raised like sisters. Okay, I'll come, Mena finally agreed. It's Saturday night, right? I was planning on making an appearance anyway. I heard there's going to be an auction with donated art from within the community. Gigi will be there, right? She grinned at the thought. I could do with a dose of her wicked humour. As relief from Mena's answer gave Carly comfort, the two sat as they always did, happy in each other's company, shrouded by their cousin-sister love. Saturday morning, Mena awoke to a ringing phone. Morning, she answered with a drowsy tone. Yes, I'm well aware of the time of day, thank you. The loud and familiar accent belonged to Gigi, who lived with Mena's parents. Hey, Gran, you good? What's good about living with these people? Mena beamed from ear to ear as she loved hearing about her parents from Gigi's point of view. Your daddy and, thing, left out to help at the hall. Gigi often searched for a name, and woe betide those who sought to correct her. Mena girl, I know you're going down to this thing your uncle got at the church. Come pick me up now, for 2:30. Gigi had a way to ask and tell you at the same time. With small talk having been made, the arrangement was set. When Mena and Gigi arrived at the church hall, Carly seemed to throw herself at them both with the relief of their company. Hey, Carly, baby girl, Gigi greeted. Save me. Dad's had me helping since morning. Dean's hovering, and Sister Jeffries is on top form with the passive-aggressive insults. Who? Hermione Jeffries? And she trollop cheering? Look, don't vex me with she today. She gave out her famous suck teeth, which were always impressive in volume. Gigi kissed her granddaughter in an overly showy way. That's when both Mena and Carly spied Sister Jeffries staring over. Look who, Gigi whispered, her prelude to gossip. See she in that highfalutin hat? Where she thinks she going in that hat? We ain't at service till tomorrow. You can pick up the shipping forecast on that thing. The girls grabbed their grandmother and her verbal crescendo and got themselves away from Sister Jeffries' earshot. As Gigi walked away, they felt protected that she was around. Her love for them both felt as if nothing bad could ever happen while she was there. They slowly walked among the pieces for auction. Just as they came to the rear of the hall, there in Indian ink was a collection of neat paintings, some with watercolour shading, entitled The Couple, each simply signed D.B. All of a sudden, Mena spotted one of the last pictures in the group, named The Look of Love, Newdigate, 1967. It showed the couple once again, him proudly smiling with his arm around her, she gazing directly at the artist happily and obviously in love. Both women were still as they gazed upon its beauty and serenity. Wow, Mena, look at these. Carly spoke, noticing her cousin captured by the simple picture of the couple. I want that, Mena said. Today I speak life into it and it shall be so. Mena broke concentration when Carly's voice interrupted her thought. Hey, Mena, Carly drew in closer. That's you in the picture. Oh, my days, cuz. Thought you said you want this. Carly pointed at the art. Looks like you've already had it, she giggled. On closer inspection, Mena could see the resemblance between herself and the woman in the painting. I never posed for such a painting, and certainly not with no bloke, she protested, turning to discover she was talking to herself. Mena's attention to the picture was interrupted by her uncle's voice calling for everyone to be seated. Thank you all for coming, he began loud and proud. Mena took her seat next to Gigi while Carly helped to showcase the pieces for auction. Oh, Lord, he might be my son, but he loves the sound of his own voice, no? Gigi spoke from between her teeth. Mena sat impatiently waiting for the lot number to the collection of the couple to come up. And now we have our final collection, Mena's uncle announced. This next collection is from one of our very own church members, Mr. Dennis Blake, the couple. The hall broke out into a round of applause. Mena knew Dennis. He was young, and he kept to himself. Had Dennis been inserting her into his work? She shivered at the thought, as she looked around and noted that he was not in attendance. Now, with only 3 left to sell, the lot was showcased by Carly, who was looking straight at Mena as she placed it on the easel. Who will start me at £10? All Mena could think was that the last 4 sold for over £100 each. The price inched up until it got to £52. Then a new bidder took it up to £55. 60! Shouted Mena. Do I hear 65? Oh, great. 70? Thank you. Who on earth was bidding against her? Just like that, the bidding went up in tens. My, £250, called Mena's uncle. How exciting! Are we all done at 250? Anybody? Any advances? All done at 250? Down came his gavel. Sold! Mena looked around with no new owner of the painting in sight. Once the auction came to an end, she sat feeling defeated. Carly bounded over with drinks in her hand and her usual broad smile. All right, Gigi, here you go. Sorry you didn't get the painting, men, Carly consoled. Me too, Gigi chimed in. Take me home, men. You coming, Lily? Let me just run to the little girl's room. I'll go meet Ollie at the car. Gigi might have had some years on her, but she could move swiftly, and off she seemed to skip. As they stood at the car awaiting Gigi's arrival, they chatted. Carly, I have to get a hold of Dennis. Ask him about that couple in the paintings. Mena announced this with determination. Sure would be nice to know who they are. 'Cause that lady looks like you, men. Carly stopped herself and quickly changed the subject as Dean approached the two standing at the car. Hey, Mena. Carly. He looked Carly up and down, trying to show his interest, as she rolled her eyes at his presence. Men, your gran says don't wait. She's going home with your dad. He turned his attention to Carly. So you all right, Lee? With no desire to answer, she got into the car, with Mena joining her to drive away from a waving Dean. Half an hour later, having stopped for wine and takeaway, their chat and giggling continued as Mena put the key in the door. There was a familiar smell that was not coming from the food, but Mena could not identify it for sure. Once inside, the smell grew stronger. We are spending entirely too much time with that cheeky old bird. I can smell her, said Carly. Then from out of the darkness of Mena's lounge came that familiar voice and signature sucking of teeth. Must be a top lip! Psst. Mena slapped on the switch on the wall. There was Gigi. Are they here waiting on all you? Gran! Exclaimed Carly, clutching her chest from fright. You breaking and entering now? Both ladies, a little shaken, entered the room with a newfound relief that it was just their grandmother. When they walked into the room, there sat beside Gigi was the painting, The Look of Love, Newdigate, 1967. Don't look at me in that tone. So what? I got your spare key off your mother. Gigi quickly reconsidered her statement. Okay, I took it from my bag. She looked down at her sofa companion. I had somebody bid up against your baby. I wanted to bless the church. She turned to Carly. "And your father's efforts. I'm proud of him. Y'all know they won't take money from me." Menna was yet to close her mouth as she kneeled and stroked the painting. "Gigi, who are they?" Gigi took in air. "Dennis asked some church members if he could sketch them." "Sketch me? Y'all know I am one for sitting still. I gave some photos to Dennis to sketch, friends and such, you know." "So you know these people, Gran? Friends of yours, yeah?" Gigi's eyes glazed tearfully as she spoke. "Oh yes, I knew them. He was a great man. Funny? Oh gosh, funny. Could make anybody laugh. Yes, he was a wonderful man. I only wish you knew him." Gigi almost seemed to whisper. "And what of her?" Menna asked impatiently. "Don't see either of them much anymore. I admit not knowing her quite so well back then. I guess I still don't. But lucky for me." She paused to lean in close to Menna, cupped her face and kissed her cheek. "I see her every time I look at you, girl." "Oh, Gran!" Menna exclaimed with emotion. Finally, Gigi rose to her feet, taking each of her granddaughters by the hand. "I'm staying here tonight. We'll all go to church in the morning together." She looked back at the painting. "Your grandfather was a handsome, eh? I just wish y'all had got to meet him." Once again, as was her way, she seemed to skip away, leaving her granddaughters alone with the painting that captured her love story and placed it in full view. That and a room full of her perfume. The Auction, a story by Dalrymple. You have been listening to a spoken word production for SoFF Creations.